Things are going to start happening to me now.
I think Tyler is amazing.
And I'm a fan of this show. I've watched several episodes.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. You stink, Tyler.
Never promise crazy a baby.
Oh, I like that. That's a cool idea.
Are either of you homosexuals?
I go both ways. What do you think?
You mean like flaming or?
No, we're not homosexual, but we are willing to learn.
But I do wonder, for others, in other cases, whether libertarianism today is just an excuse for many on the right to act selfishly.
Look at me. And then some fat asses in Washington started having opinions. The Olympic Committee started having opinions. You bitch, I know you. You started writing your opinions.
And it just makes me wonder, you're dead, bitch. You know, why are you doing this to this poor guy?
I don't care. I'm a libertarian. What I'm getting is,
Did you vote for Joe Jorgensen or Trump?
Who?
Joe Jorgensen. That was the perfect answer. Thank you. That
It's always a perfect answer, and this thing isn't playing. Hello, everybody. This is Tyler Yonke. There we go. I think we're all there. I'm trying new stuff, and I'm outside again. We're gonna see if this works. Look at the lovely. Let's turn this down. We got anybody in the chat here, but on the edge of sleep. Sorry, Tyler. That's okay. What you're gonna watch tonight is not much. I'm just gonna kind of recap. There's some things going on this week, which is Karen Reed starts tomorrow, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that. I just thought I would come out here and now I have to scoot down here. Come out here and maybe give a little breakdown of what happened in the news today. You know, Jose has his morning dump. This is your evening wood, maybe? I don't instead of morning wood. Hang on. I'm on the West Coast. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope you can hear me out there. Let's cut this music off. And let's put this on the overlay so you guys can see what's going on the screen as well. There we go. Sup, BB boy, Jose. Yes. So, look, long day at work. I hope you had a good Easter weekend. I had a fantastic time. Good weather. Son and I went golfing. Did a little drinking out in the patio here. It was a good time. I hope everyone did. And then some things happened. So we're going to walk through some of those news stories, which is someone died. So the Pope. So I hope everyone can hear. So give a thumbs up in the chat if you're having any problems. I need to get a new mic. I have some of these old mics, and this one's working okay. But it does have a little bit of a problem with playback, so I don't necessarily hear myself. What happened in the news? First of all, I just want to give a breakdown of what's coming up this week. I'm going to have Bob Murphy coming on, what day is he on? Thursday. So look for that. We're going to do a live show. We're going to talk a little bit about the breakdown of the Dave Smith debate, Douglas Murray, some of the fallout with that. I want to talk to him. And I'm also going to talk to him about Austrian economics and some libertarian shit. We might as well give a rousing throw to that as well. I think Scott in here, you're my evening wood. Yeah. Pseudo Snark in here. He did send me a message, and I thought it's a few people. Mark Vestibal sent me a question for Bob Murphy too. So send me if you have questions on Bob or whatever you want to ask. Send him away. So Mark Vestibal, he's got a question for me. Pseudo Snark actually made a comment about like, hey, I don't know too much about this libertarian shit. Just seems like stuff that's not practical. Okay. Yeah. Good point. Is aware of Mises, Institute type people. So that's who Bob is. Bob's one of the preeminent economists right now. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But not even so much. So, that was something I would have done earlier. It was really break down, let's talk about some theory stuff. I am really interested because he has written books about legal theory and how you would do everything privatized. And for me as an attorney, I think that's fascinating. And so maybe Scott, Pseudo Snark over here, maybe that's something you'd be interested in as well. So we'll walk through that a little bit. What else happened here? Let me see. I did. This is such a ragtag setup just outside here. As you can see, I'm just on the patio and I can't even really see it because I got a screen hooked up here, an extra monitor, so I can't even see what's going on. Okay, let's take a look here. Maybe we'll You know what? I'm going to continue to do these things, and at some point, we're going to have it down. We're going to have it down. Ask him why he blocked me, says Jose. Okay, I'll bring that up. Maybe, you know, I saw this. Look, our buddy Raven, David Corbo, he's been going and I guess he just takes your picture and makes it a blackface, and he's posted on there. And so he's basically blackifying everybody. And he did one with Jose, which, by the way, it looked suspiciously like Eddie Murphy when he was doing the James Brown impersonation, "Too Hot in the Hot Tub" on SNL. He had his Terrence Yeeki shirt on, and the wife didn't like that. She posted to take it down. So I don't know if you saw that, Jose. Tanya, she was not happy about that. There's always questions about blocking. Look, I saw a post today. Maybe I'll find it here because it's actually phenomenal. Okay, I'm going to see if I could find this message here. Let's see. I don't know why I called this guy Scott. Is it Scott? Is it Mickey D? What's his actual name? Okay, so Pseudo Snark. I don't know what your real name is, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen here. This is our boy Grimm. I'm sorry, Bert Grimm. And this is what he wrote. He goes, this is back in 2021. "Hello, sir. Can I talk to you about the many benefits of joining the Libertarian Party?" That's capital L. "Such as having a white mom with dreadlocks give you the first half of a hand job behind the hemp jewelry tent at Porkfest before she pukes up mushrooms all over the front of your Coexist hoodie." So I thought that was pretty funny. Is that what hang on. Why am I not being shown here? I'm still learning this restream stuff. Is that what it's like to be a libertarian? Perhaps. But anyway, Bert blocked me at one point. The whole formerly not a podcast guys, they all had me blocked, and then for some reason El Popo never did, or one of the other guys didn't block me. They actually followed me because I did a review of their show. And some of them did block me, and then I went on Josh Smith's thing, and I was like, "Oh, Bert's blocked me," you know, brought it right up there, and then Bert's like, because Bert was in the chat, I said, "I'll buy a shirt from you if you unblock me, Bert," and I did. I bought a shirt. It said "Joy Division of Labor," so it was. So maybe we will ask you, Jose, why you were blocked, and who knows, it could be for a valid reason. I mean, you know, if I didn't know you well, I might block you too. So let's take a look here at a few things. I thought this was interesting. This is kind of coming up. That is about what I picture baseline libertarianism. Yeah, that's what I sent over there. So yes, that's baseline libertarianism. And look, it allows for that. And this is what I think people like Bob Murphy, who fashions himself as a Christian and an economist, or it sounds like he says communist. That's what he kind of fashions himself as pushing against, I would imagine. You can do that, right? You don't have to go along with it. This is the problem, I think, that and it goes right in line with what we were just discussing this last week with when Dave was talking about morality versus law, right? This is, I think, the problem that a lot of the libertarians have, which, you know, a lot of these people that are mock the libertarians. But they're very much the same way, which is, well, if it's against the law, or if it's the law, now it's more, they equate the two. That's what they're literally doing with the murder morality combo. And it's pathetic, but that's you see that with a lot of the libertarians, where they're like, well, if we don't outlaw, or if we don't have a law for it, then you have to embrace it. Well, you don't have to embrace these things either, right? You can say, I'm not for drug laws. I'm also for, it is a funny concept, especially if you think about it legally, which is prostitution / pornography. If you contract to have sex with someone, and maybe one party gets paid more than the other, or goes through a third party, and you have a camera and you call it porn, that's legal. But if you if you just do it between a man, you know, still consensual, and maybe it still goes through a third party, which is, instead of a movie studio, it's a pimp. It's not legal. And it's like, one, to just have a camera in there. First of all, it may give you the heebie-jeebies because you may think someone's trying to blackmail you. But on the other hand, you'll get away with it with the cops. So that's the perfect thing. It's like, okay, I think it should be legal. Those are two consenting adults doing whatever they want. I don't care about that. And I honestly don't. Teach your kids to be better, or your keep your men in line, your women, whatever. Be fathers that are there instead of absent fathers that are gonna have girls possibly doing this kind of stuff. But it doesn't mean you have to embrace it. You see this way too much with like the reason folks, sex workers, and it's like, yeah, you can still shun them, which I think is perfectly reasonable. Red Ensign said, "Good evening." Okay, there you go. Mom said I could watch one more YouTube before bed. Well, sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mom's gave you this one. For a second there, I'm like, is that my son chiming in? I got his birth. I adopted my two kids this last year, adult kids, my wife's, which they've been in our lives forever. And got one of the birth certificates back today. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's anyway, the IDW, that's kind of this. I think I really like what Clint has done with the whole prospect, which is to talk about see if I have that, which is to talk about how the IDW is now being kind of subverted. And let's see if we can play this. Let's turn up the volume a tad bit. This is Eric. Oh no, so this is which Weinstein is this? Weinstein.
Which
Eric.
We discovered it is well known. It is the exact thing that the founders of this great country put first on the list of our enumerated rights for a goddamn reason. It was, they couldn't name a podcast. They couldn't have called out Joe Rogan, but they came as close as they could come to saying, sorry, there's no source of high quality information versus low quality information, malinformation, disinformation. You can't know ahead of time. The mechanism by which you come to understand what is true, Douglas, is discussion. It is discussion in which nobody gets to.
All right, let me say this is on the heels of Douglas Murray writing something for, I think it was the New York Post, and Clint's gone over this, Dave's gone over this, and now Weinstein over here, he and his wife, they're lefties that were on Evergreen College up in by Seattle, I believe it was, or Olympia, somewhere up there, and they pretty much got expelled from campus, and it had a lawsuit and a settlement, and they kind of came out, and then his brother Eric Weinstein. He's a big time mathematician. Yes, he works for the guy that owns Palantir. What's his name? Peter Thiel. I get all that, but they came up with this thing called the intellectual dark web. Now, IDW can stand for Israeli dimwits. That's what it seems like it's gone to lately. And so anyway, you understand, but they got really promoted. I mean, I heard about them mostly because they were all going on Rogan. Right. And it was a bunch of lefties or righties that were all kind of coming together, really pushing back about speech and wokeness and cancel culture. But then remember, you had during COVID big issues with Rogan and Spotify. People remember they had Neil Young was going to pull his whole catalog off of Spotify because Rogan was, platforming people that didn't go along with the narrative. Okay. And now think back about those narratives. But Rogan said, screw you, I'm doing whatever. Douglas Murray and them, were they appalled by that? Of course they probably were. But now they're doing the exact same kind of thing. And one thing I'm going to talk to Bob about when he comes on here is the experts. There's certain classifications for experts. We're going to see this tomorrow. Karen Reed trial is starting, and I'm going to be following it, and we're going to be doing updates. And okay, let me back up. Anyway, we're going to be talking about experts, and I'm going to talk to Bob Murphy kind of about the expert class as well, because he's highly intellectual. He's probably got a doctorate in economics. I mean, I have an engineering degree. I went to grad school with engineering. I went to law school. You get your Juris Doctorate. I'm no necessarily qualified dummy, right? I mean, I've got a bunch of certified expertise, so to say. Am I smart? I don't know. And I only say that to bring up the point of like, your degree doesn't mean jack shit. Okay. I mean, it does. It helps you get certain places at certain times. But I mean, in the reality, if you're listening to this, you're not like, I'm listening to him because he said he got his BSME, his BS in mechanical engineering. Okay, no, okay, can I still do that? I don't know. That stuff's kind of passed me by at this point. But that's not really what it is. And by the way, Daryl Cooper is an engineer. I think he's a mechanical or electrical, and he's pretty smart. Okay, Douglas Murray is just an English teacher. I mean, he got an English degree. Now, with that, you can still go, oh, you can learn and you can be competent in all kinds of things, become competent. Anyway, let's keep going on with this this segment here.
Set the rules about what kinds of opinions can be investigated. And yes, that does cause some garbage stuff to be said, but what reveals that it's garbage stuff? Free and open inquiry that reveals that actually it doesn't stand up to scrutiny. That's how you do it, Konstantin Kisin. I don't know what's wrong with these people. It's really like somebody has figured out how to threaten them into saying things that they full well know aren't true.
They're becoming what they were fighting against.
Yeah, good point.
They're becoming what they were fighting against. And I must say, in both of those cases, I feel like I don't think I was duped to begin with, that they actually held free speech as a high value. So the fact that they are backing away from it and calling for some kind of standard, self-imposed or otherwise, to prevent certain, the fact is, heterodoxy is heterodoxy. And it often sounds crazy, and most of it is. But the good stuff is the stuff that sounds crazy that then does strangely stand up to scrutiny. That's how you figure out what's coming, is you look at the heterodox stuff and you figure out what has predictive power. And you can't get around that. And the people who tried failed. The mechanism.
Okay, let's see if I could get back to normal viewing. Sorry, folks. Okay, there we go. Let's keep trying. Remove. Sorry, I don't know why this is so difficult for me here. Okay, there we go. We're back. Holy crap! I'll learn this here. JC's in the chat. Okay, so part of the point, and it's real interesting little dynamic on this free speech stuff. A lot of people are like, I'm free speech absolutist, and we've gone through a period where the right wing has, Bill Maher and many others, they've actually come to the defense of the right in the last several years, especially leading up to the, after Elon took over X, kind of coming to their defense in being a free speech type of, now this is what they would say. The free speech used to be coming from, being defended on the left, and now it's on the right. Okay, fine. And I remember a few weeks ago, I made some comments, my brother-in-law saying the exact same thing. And I'm like, I go, well, and I started mentioning all these things on college campuses, and these laws being pushed through the IHRA and stuff you can and can't say. And I'm like, and you're now getting this woke shit coming from all these bastions of the right, really pushing back against thought. Right, that's really what it is. And he was like, instead of taking that on because that was anathema to his thinking, he started to go down the rabbit hole of, well, the Jews have been persecuted. And I was like, whoa. I mean, it derailed our conversation into something completely different than just like, I don't care what the topic is. I don't care what the topic is. You're either for this or you're not. And to me, it's a topic where you're, the mixing of race and religion to now being you're racist or you're anti-Semitic for criticizing a country. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, the IDW type of shit that's going on here, it's fascinating to see. And there is a full-on onslaught, coordinated offense. You're seeing it now with, let me pull this one up here. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, I'm going to go to this Twitter thing here. This is Hegseth. I mean, it's not just coming out with, because we're going to get to the Pete Hegseth thing as well, but it kind of ties itself right in here. This is Mel. She's like, she posted this about, because Ben Shapiro posted it. She goes, I love that Shapiro posted this on Facebook, and he's still getting ratioed, even if it's mostly just boomers asking where's the real Ben is and why he's going against Trump. So here he goes. Let's see if I can find this. I don't know where that just went. Oh, this really sucks. I don't know why I'm not able to share the screen now. Outdoor streaming gun. Let's go. Yeah. That one there. So why? Maybe just go the whole window. Let's do that one. See if that shares it. I am having trouble adding to screen. Boy. Okay, I don't know what's going on with this restream, why I'm not able to do it. But I'll read it here. He says, I think it's noteworthy to the point that the leaks coming out of the Department of Defense are coming largely from those who are aligned with isolationist wing of the Republican Party. So and by the way, before I forget here, yeah, Jose went on Jake Shields' podcast. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let me just pull this up here so it stays. So what's the interesting part to me about that comment from Ben is I think there's a few things going here, and one, just like if you make comments about Israel, they say you're anti-Semitic to distract from the actual critiquing, but it's actually not even as nefarious as this, because I think this quote actually comes to it, which is it's more about the war party. Okay, now Israel seems to be pushing this. Now, if Israel was trying to push for peace, would that be as influential? Would we really care or whatnot? Right now Israel's in a place where there's a lot of strife. There's a lot of shit going on. So they're trying to have us do the dirty work. But a lot of that dirty work and the money influence isn't from like a Jewish money changer. It's the military industrial complex, and that, the wars with the health of the state type of thing. So I think there's some of that mixing in. And I think this comment, it just so happens that the most war hungry, war mongering entity right now is the Israel faction. Okay. And that with the neocons, so you get a combo. So it's easy for someone like Douglas Murray. Now, rumor has it that his husband is Israeli. Okay. By the way, there's a lot of, symbiotic relationship stuff going on here, but there's a lot of, the neocon and the warmongering from the Israel side is just a natural fit. So even those ones, they're like, there's two facets. Some of them are just simply like, I don't understand why we don't want to, America defense. It's our best defense is actually doing all these things out in the foreign countries. Okay. It doesn't make sense to me, but, I used to buy it where you're like, we're the world's police. If, we take care of it over there, so it doesn't come to our shores, which seems a little selfish. It's all a little racist as well, but that's never the fact. That's nevertheless, that's just the neocon type of mindset. And you can be that without really being, pro-Israel or thinking in those terms. But then you've got to think of, how do I leverage this? And part of that leverage is to not, we used to say this, which is, oh, you're unpatriotic. Look at, you've got, Code Pink and Cindy Sheehan. Her son was one that died, I think, in the Iraq War. And so she was a big proponent of the peace movement at the time, but she was also a big lefty. So it's easy to like demonize her, and she's not patriotic and blah, 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 this kind of stuff. And you go after that. And then it's really easy to then say, oh, you see this all the time. Some of these people there's a chick online, Twitter, she follows me because I had been in a spaces at one point when Hunter Biden was going through all his legal stuff. So one of them's like tags me, and I go in there, and I know a bunch of family law. So I got a ton of follows that day from kind of the mega crowd. Their whole thing isn't about family law. It's like, what can you, and I would push back different directions, and their mind would spin when I understand how you're just not, pro-Trump, everything else is just negative. It's like, okay, well, anyway, it's just a family law case. I'm just reading it about, I was just trying to give him the breakdown of how his baby mama would go, and the support, and how all that takes care. Anyway, the point is, her, you've probably seen this lady up there. I think her handle is something like Stealth Medical. She was all about like vaccines and stuff, and like, the RFK Jr. type of stuff, but she's super MAGA. So now she can't stop posting. We follow each other, and I just should probably unfollow or mute, but I'm kind of interested because it's so grifty and it's so MAGA like, which is just, she's obsessed with Dave, but it's all, she labels it as pro Hamas type of stuff. And it's just, it poisons the well. You can't have a discussion, but that's kind of where we're heading here. Okay, let's see. Anything else going on here? LOL, must be a 2-drink minimum to do outdoor streams. Yeah. I don't know about 2-drink minimum, but I have 1 drink, just 1 for tonight. Yeah, I don't. It's gorgeous out here. Over there is chicken coop. The cat was out here earlier. I think I could hear her. She's still walking around. All right. I don't know why I'm not able to show screens, but let me go to something else here. Pete Hegseth. And it should say this Homeland. Maybe we should start with this one. I'm going to try one more time to bring in a source. Let's see. It's not doing it, folks. It's not doing it. A lot of this shit's not working all of a sudden. I don't know why I'm not able to show this. Oh, well, let's just keep going. So this is Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Her bag, including $3,000 in cash, stolen from D.C. restaurant. This one I'm going to have to... I've got to figure out my configuration here. I mean, I'm only doing this... Look, it's, 9 o'clock. My wife's like, I'm going up to bed. I don't want to be up there doing this where she is. So I was trying to do it because it's nicer outside. So I thought, we'll just come out here and do some streaming. But then, I try to get shit produced right and done right. So can I read this? Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem fell victim to a thief while eating dinner at a downtown Washington, D.C. restaurant Sunday night. The secretary confirmed Monday. Noem, who was asked about the theft at the White House Easter egg roll, acknowledged the incident and said the matter has not been resolved. Well, I hope she didn't have any signal chats in there. That would be pretty detrimental. The Secret Service, which provides security for Noem, reviewed security camera footage at the Capitol Burger restaurant and saw an unknown white male wearing a medical mask steal her bag and leave the restaurant, law enforcement sources said. The thief got away with Noem's driver's license, medication, apartment keys, passport, DHS access bag, makeup bag. That's probably what she's really pissed off about, the makeup bag, blank checks, and about $3,000 in cash. The Secret Service has launched an investigation to trace any of Noem's financial instruments, the person added. Her entire family was in town, including the children and grandchildren. She was using the withdrawal to treat her family to dinner activities and Easter gifts, the DHS said. Law enforcement experts have raised concerns about whether the incident, which involved a thief getting too close to a cabinet member and then absconding with her belongings, may have been a lapse in security or just a lapse in her ability to watch her shit. This is a security breach that actually has high consequences that is needs immediate and further review by the Secret Service and DHS. I mean, look, I'm going to tie it in with Hegseth. So he's got this signal chat and SecDef, this is an update. SecDef Hegseth is not taking these new allegations sitting down, lashing out at disgruntled former employees for leaks and reassuring the president. Okay, so basically the story, NPR comes out and says this, NPR, that he was in another signal chat with his wife and family, and he was giving them movements about, troop movements and whatnot, and now it's coming out, and he's basically debunking it. NPR story is totally fake news based on one anonymous source who clearly has no idea what they're talking about. All the president said this morning. Okay, but it's interesting. I mean, look, the first one was not fake, right? It happened. Why is this shit happening? Why is there? I know this happens, but we have there's security concerns, and if you're going to be talking about how pathetic the other party is, maybe get your shit together. All we know with Kristi Noem is she has she have a pink gun. She goes out there and does raids with people with so much makeup on. I mean, it could be a mask. I don't even know if that's her. It's so pathetic. And Hegseth, I'm not real happy about. I'm not a big fan, but then there's people out there saying, oh, the fact that people are coming out against him is and you saw this with Ben Shapiro, right? So it's a full onslaught to take out Rogan. There's an onslaught for some reason to take out Hegseth because I think it was just reported that the Trump was deciding whether to back Israel and going to basically to war with Iran, and Hegseth was one that pushed for it to not happen. Okay, so now he pushed for it to not happen. Then this leak comes out. Then you've got Ben Shapiro types out there, really pushing for this thing too. So, yeah. Another outdoor stream again. Yeah, we said that. Okay. Evening JC. Okay, you guys are there. That's good to know. Okay, is there anything else we're really looking at here? The Pope. The Pope died. Who are the front runners to succeed the Pope? I'm not a fan at all of this Restream studio here. I don't know why it's causing me problems. Let's see if we can. Let's try this. Very odd. What if we did this and then added a source? Let's try that. Video, image, share screen. Let's try this one, folks. Let's see how we're going to do. Nope, that didn't work either. I am not. Wait, hang on. I'm still playing here. You guys are learning with me. Damn, that did not add in there. All right, well that's fine. We'll just keep the whole shame all shit. Okay, so let me look at this. Okay, so the Pope gets JD Vance goes to visit the Pope, and he dies, and the next day. Now, there's a lot of look. I'm not Catholic. Not a fan of this Pope necessarily. I know I'm not a Catholic fan. I don't know, or I guess I don't know. Sometimes I am. It's some of the like the Michael Knowles that come on there and they're preaching about how they really get authoritarian on your personal life. We just talked about this with the mom giving a dreadlocks white mom giving a hand job to her kid at a pork fest thing. It was a Burt Grimm tweet, but I'm not a fan of that. But I'm also there's I would say just as I'm not going to want to live with those people, there's also several Catholics in the way that they push things that I wouldn't want to live with either. Okay, maybe to the same extent, and you're like, oh, how could you? But these are religious chads. Okay, well, I'm not. I'm just there's people like Michael Knowles that I probably, and I know wonderful person to Candace Owens, as she says, but I'm just not a fan. And now there probably are. I think Tom Woods is a Catholic. I don't know. I mean, maybe so. I've grown up around. I'm not trying to trash either way. You probably wouldn't like my religion. I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with sticking to your own. Okay, that's one of them. So the Pope dies. I don't revere him. He's just a dude to me. Okay, maybe he was a wonderful dude, but this is the part that you get in trouble with. Is some people really acknowledge that the Pope is like their supreme leader type of thing. And so, there's a lot of mourning, there's a lot of concern, there's blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know. He's a dude. He wears a nice hat. I'm not going to necessarily mock anything. I think it probably is a better lifestyle than the mom giving you hand jobs. So I will go with that. But on the same point, I'm also like, I'm not going to go see him. I'm not really going to care unless you start to really infringe on my freedoms and my religious beliefs. I'm not going to really give too much shits about it. But you can care all you want. But he passed away, so we will at least talk about it because it's a story that's happening, and it was kind of interesting that it happened. And there's been a lot of controversy because he died. The Pope before him had passed away, and then they got this one, and he had a lot of. And I know there's controversy out there, which is some people, it looks like he's kind of the social justice warrior, kind of more lefty South American type, and then. Some Catholics are pushing back saying, no, that's not true at all. And I'm like, okay, maybe not. With the passing of Pope Francis on April 21, the Catholic Church is preparing for a transition that will determine the direction of the foreseeable future. As the first Latin American Pope, Francis brought significant change as bishop in Rome, focusing on social justice, environmental issues, okay, and a more inclusive church. Yeah, include all you want. When you want to have all those things, I think all you do is degrade. I think it's perfectly fine to welcome all stripes into your church. But if your church is worried about social justice over just salvation, go fuck yourself. Now the College of the Cardinals prepares to gather at the Vatican for a conclave. that will shape the church's future. With their choice won't just name the next leader of 1.37 billion Catholics. It will set the course for the doctrine, transparency, and the church's outreach to its flock. Will the next Pope continue Francis's progressive reforms, or will the cardinals pivot back towards theological conservatism? The answer will be clear when the symbolic white smoke rises from the Sistine Chapel. It's all performative. They blow smoke up your ass, and then they finally... Francis' influence is on the election. The next pope will face a church shaped by Francis' appointment and reforms. The tenure saw major structural changes, including the decentralization of the Vatican's power and the appointment of more non-European cardinals than any of his predecessors. Anyway, this is what's going to happen. I don't know that I want to go down this rabbit hole because I was planning on having a little bit more fun tonight than not. Oops, it almost said... mommy giving handies. Tyler has a studio set now. Yes, I do. I actually have two now. Have you commented on the Rekieta sentence? Yes, I did that on the first part of last week's show. However, Friday. So this is what I needed to get. I should have done this up front. Thursday, got Bob Murphy coming on. Okay. Friday, potentially criminal Sean. I've invited him to come on to do a Rekieta summary. Okay. I've also invited a legal mindset, Andrew, to come on with us as well. He said he's traveling at the time, but he'll see if he can. I should reach out to Kurt and see if I just kind of want to do an overview, a summary, kind of recap it. Now, with that in mind, Alyssa Clips, she's been doing stuff, Rekieta is out there, podcasting now. And then I saw the two bumbling idiots, Free and Barnes, do a podcast, and they're basking in the it's more gaslighty than what we just talked about the last few times with the Dave and Murray. It blows me away, the gaslighting. They are reveling in their victory lap of the sentencing. It blows me away, the amount of straw men. It blew me away. I couldn't believe that Barnes is out there talking about how he got everything right. And then he's ripping on Nate. He ripped on Sean, and he didn't rip on me because I do have him blocked, but I'm sure he would if he could. He is such a piece of shit. And then Rekieta is out there now talking about stuff too, and I'm not interested in the Karen Reed stuff's going to start tomorrow, and I'm sure he's going to do this, and I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of losers out there that are going to go back and follow him for this. Do it, fine. I've found much better people. Kurt, Sean, I think Kurt will do it live, and he'll do a fine job. And matter of fact, I'm going to trust his opinion much more, because I feel like that he will give you his opinion, legal opinion, not based on something that something else. So that's I don't know what to tell you. The recap is 30 days deferred, so he's got to do 5 years of probation, and then it's all wiped off his record. It's basically expunged in a sense. Good for him. I saw him whining about tonight about how I would never put my kids in danger, and I'm like, what? But you're saying you had coke in the house. So I mean, and there, I don't know that that's true. Was the coke in the kid? I don't know. I'm still not buying your story. So 30 days deferred, but it's got to do 5 years of probation, and it's not just drug, it's alcohol. No possession of this. So he's going to get randomly tested. At some point, can you not imagine he's going to slip up and say something on stream? Your Fourth Amendment rights, it's even in the probation, they're gone. You don't have Fourth Amendment rights under this probation. They could come to his house at any point they want, wherever he's at, and just like search him. And so we'll see how that goes. Mama giving handies. Yeah, so it was a tweet that someone put up making fun of libertarians, which was fairly funny. Eric says he has that cool bulletproof golf cart for the Pope. Yes, he does. He does. No Kurt. So you're not a fan of Kurt. He was on his sentence. How was his sentence of victory? That's what blew me away. So Robert Barnes, and I need to go back. It's just I'm busy, but I should go back and clip all, like somebody should do this. Clip all the times Barnes, all the comments he had and predictions, and then go back and juxtapose it with this video. He was basically he's like, you guys didn't know what you're talking about. You're wrong on all your analysis. It's like, no, we were saying no one credible that I was listening to, and I was listening to Nate, Kurt, Sean, Andrew, myself. Okay. And no one was saying he's going to get 25 years in jail. Everyone was talking about a diversion program, which is exactly what this is. I think that's what Nate was talking about to begin with, but it all kind of depended. And then Robert Barnes is saying, and everyone's telling him he just needs to come clean right now. It's like, he's like, well, he can't do that because he's got these kids and they use your kids. Yeah. I was specifically saying he's stuck in a rock and a hard place because you want to get your kids out. You've got this criminal situation. We do this all the time, which is, you go into, maybe there's a restraining order, domestic violence restraining order. And the judge is like, well, is there a criminal case? And you plead the fifth. You're not gonna self-incrimination. Your right to not self-incriminate and to testify. So you plead the fifth on, or you pen this out until it's done. The criminal side is done, so you can actually make a testimony on the civil side. We do that all the time. And so this was not. No one was saying what Barnes is. He's strawmanning. He's making up stuff to make himself. So then he was like saying how he did such a wonderful, by pushing all these weird theories, he forced the DA into doing this deal and dropping these other charges. I'm like, bitch, please. He lost on his Frank's motion. What did he win that he pushed him to do any of this? He was losing. By the way, best news, I did see out here that it appears that the body cam footage will be coming out now, because according to the Kiwi Farms guy that was doing this, he's done all the legal stuff, that once it's a guilty plea, or the parties agree, or a guilt has been assumed, then you can do this. Now, this deferred thing, is it guilt? I think he pled to this. Overall, it is going to be a non-guilty. So it'll be kind of interesting how that works out, and we'll talk to them about it. But someone did say, why'd you say no Kurt? Maddie B? No Kurt. You don't want Kurt up there? I think it would be interesting. But if not, it's just I haven't asked him yet. I just asked Legal Mindset and Sean. So those are two. So I did comment a little bit on Ricada. Ricada came into our chat once, and I think I'll try to pull that clip back up, or at least the tweet, because it's mind-numbingly stupid. But there you go. And by the way, all of this, part of this, which is the hilarity of it, and what spawned a lot of this, back and forth with everybody, was the fact that he's commenting about this case. Just shut up, don't say anything, and it's probably going to be just fine. But he made more of it because he was had a drug and alcohol problem, I would imagine. What else do we have here? Shannon Sharpe is sued for sexual assault and battery. Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharpe made headlines last week in connection with his pursuit of a 9-figure podcast deal. This week, he's facing an 8-figure lawsuit. Sharpe was sued Sunday by a woman proceeding under the name Jane Doe pseudonym. The 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada state court alleges that Sharpe committed assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery, and then engaged in intentional infliction of emotional distress, IIED, as we call it. The plaintiff claims that they embarked on a rocky consensual relationship that lasted nearly 2 years. The complaint alleges that Sharpe recorded their sexual activities, something without her knowledge, and that he was sharing the videos with others without her permission. We've heard about that kind of stuff before. Or knowledge. Or do they not have a revenge porn type of thing? The complaint contends that there was another woman, not the plaintiff, with whom Sharpe was having sex when he accidentally live-streamed the encounter on Instagram. That was, per the complaint, the moment at which the plaintiff began to pull away from Sharpe. The complaint claims that he relentlessly pursued her after she stopped answering the phone and sharing her whereabouts. Don't share your location unless it's your spouse or your kids. What's interesting in this is this is what happens, right? You have a consensual relationship with someone, and then you do them dirty by banging someone else and having it broadcast live. and then they're going to be upset, and then they're going to come after you, and maybe they're going to file a lawsuit, which isn't reason to file a lawsuit, but crazy do crazy. The complaint contends that Sharp confronted the plaintiff in October 2024 after she had commenced efforts to separate from him. The complaint details the ensuing encounter, which culminated in allegedly forcible sex against her consent. Okay, so he just couldn't not be without her. Another alleged incident happened in January. The complaint of 2025, the complaint alleges that Sharp engaged in unprotected sex with the plaintiff, despite her, okay, it is a female, efforts to get him either to stop or wear a condom. You're going to stop or you're going to wear a condom. I'm going to rape you instead. The first page of the complaint, a woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations with a man 99 times, but when she says no, even once, that no means no. Defendant Shannon Sharp, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand this basic concept. After many months of manipulated, she used the angry, sexually abusive black man stereotype against him. After many months of manipulating and controlling the plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her. Wow. Sharp refused to accept the answer no and raped plaintiff despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no. The complaint seeks a minimum $50 million from Sharp. Okay. In which, I mean, I'm not laughing because he potentially raped her. It is interesting that there's not a criminal aspect to this. It's a civil, and he's a rich man. He just got a large deal podcast, and now she's got a large deal lawsuit. If when there's a trial, then recovery, if any, will be determined by a jury based on the evidence in the law. The number can, in theory, be anything. The plaintiff is represented by Michael Nash and Tony Busby. Busby rose to prominence in NFL circles via representation of more than 20 plaintiffs who sued quarterback Deshaun Watson starting in early 2021. It is a civil case with no criminal consequences attached directly to it. Sharp will have all available defenses available to him. Sharp will have all available defenses available to him as the case proceeds. There you go. Wow. Okay. Maddie B says Kurt is horrible. Maybe explain. I'm not a fan of just conclusory statements. I mean, tell me why Kurt's horrible. Let's go back up here because someone said, hey, so our buddy Jose was on Jake Shields' podcast. Now, I've made comments about, and I listened to it and I enjoyed it, and they did a multi-part. But it's exactly what I knew, which is, and I'm glad that he had him on there because Jake Shields is a high-profile person. They even mentioned him on, they call him an anti-Semite. They mentioned him on the Rogan. I get it. Now, is he? I don't know. He goes much harder in the paint. I just don't think he's super smart. I think he got hit in the head a bunch. I don't have anything against him. Would I go on his podcast? Sure. And that's kind of my point here, which is I think he would be perfect for me to be on there and to do a Leo Frank scenario, breakdown of Leo Frank. And I think he would really enjoy it. And I think it would be good. So I'm proposing that's the case. Hey, Jake Shields, have me on for this. But I would also just say that Jose and Austin, when you have people on that podcast, if they're good, they carry the show. He kind of says things. He makes little comments. He's not necessarily a dummy. That's not his forte. But he's getting into the field of podcasting, and he's had some guests. So he had Dave Smith on there, and Dave, just kind of carries the show. And then he had some others, and I'm just like not as interested. But Jose and Austin did great, so I was really happy for them. Tyler, this is from Maddie B. Do you have a way to be emailed? He was gooning on a 16-year-old girl that was oh boy. Is that what I do have a way to be emailed. I'll be happy to link you with the video. Oh, that's a suspect. Maddie B, if you're on Twitter, I'm on Twitter. Tyler Yankee, TYLERJANKE. Just DM me and I'll follow you if I don't follow you, and I'll get it that way. And I could always send you my email. I do have an email. I don't want to give it out really right now. I should probably get one just for the show. There you have it. Look, people. Maybe that's what I heard, because I did hear Ricada talking about something about Kurt and whatever, and girls and whatever. I don't know. I don't know the story. I guess send it to me. I'll take a look at it. Will I really go at it? I don't know. Some people are better at social skills than others, at dating than others. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. That's a little suspect, especially getting older. But yeah, but then again, Nick Rekieta was going after a guy that was pretending to be a girl. So, yeah, link it to me. I guess that's it. Any other good stories for tonight? How long have we been going here? 50 minutes. We're about done. So once again, Karen Reed starts tomorrow. Am I going to do a show out here tomorrow night? Maybe. Wife is going away to meet with her sister on Wednesday, and we have the Wednesday is Tower Gang, but maybe I'll do a post show after Tower Gang. What do you guys think? Maybe about the same time? I think it would be. So maybe we'll try to do some evening shows here. That will likely be in the main studio in my in my bedroom, rather than out here. It's fun out here. It's nice, but it's just not. It's not quite the same. And I do want to. I need to get. I will upgrade this a little bit. It's not such a bad situation. I mean, I would show you. Can we even show any more of this? Whatever. We won't worry about it. So anyway, Karen Reed starts tomorrow. That's going to be 6 month trial, 6 week trial. I don't know, something like that. It's going to be lengthy. It's going to be interesting. I will be watching that on Kurt's channel. Sorry to let you know. He is going live, and I will go and watch him there unless he has a 16-year-old with him, Maddie B. Then I probably won't. I'll have to ditch away from that. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us on another outdoor stream. Tomorrow, I plan on doing this most of the week. Okay, so I don't have court at all this week, and it's nice weather. It's kind of chill out here, kind of enjoy it, and kind of like to hang. So maybe keep, except for Thursday. Thursday I'm going to be doing with Bob. It's about 1:30 Pacific. 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. I think it's 5:30. 5:30. I'll have to go back and look and see what time we did determine to do that. So that'll be a little closer in the middle of the day for me. And then Friday evening, whenever Sean, I want to do, usually the same time, 7:30 Pacific. I'm sorry, Eastern, and somewhere around that time frame. Sean, come on. Now he says he's gonna be doing Karen Reed stuff too, but fuck it, you come on my show and we'll talk about it. Any other big cases? We've got Colbert coming up. Lori Vallow. Of course, there's legal wranglings going on with the Supreme Court and Trump. All this good stuff, and we'll just keep on top of it. Okay, everybody, I appreciate it. Until next time, have a good one, and let's see if I can figure out how to get this closing. See ya. Bye.
Okay, I'm leaving now, guys.
But she's back.
And now.
Tyler, if you had any clout about you, if you had any knowledge of the real world of what happens, we walk into Tim Katz's studio, immediately there's 4 Jewish lawyers.
King of the Druids!
Oh, that's all we needed. A Jewish princess.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't expect the normies like Tyler to understand these kind of things. He's just a podunk lawyer somewhere in rural California. He's an idiot, really.
Takes a tough man to make a tender forecast, Nick. I guess that's me. Keep fucking that chicken.
This guy's, I wouldn't say he's full of shit, but I'd say he's stupid. Whatever, if you're in the comments, if you're in the chat now, I wouldn't pay attention to anything he says anyway. But
more or less, eat shit and die.
Don't ever come to Top Left, sir. He will end you. Do you see what he just did to Tyler? Just fucking challenge this.
Tyler's done.
Top is a maniac.
He can't even reply right now because he's crippled.
He's got nothing to say.
What are you talking about? I didn't say that. Why don't you argue with something I said, you dumb bastard?